You won't believe what happened to the girl who punched the royal guardsman in the face. In the small American town of Lakeview, life flowed quietly. The streets were paved with cobblestones, and the old houses with white fences created an atmosphere of comfort. The locals knew each other by sight, and every Saturday a market was held on the square, where fresh vegetables, homemade cakes, and products of local craftsmen were sold. Mary, a 34-year-old woman with bright red hair and a green scarf, worked at the Creative Inspiration art store. This store was a cozy place full of paints, canvases, and brushes. Mary loved her job and spent a lot of time helping clients choose creative materials. She was known for her sharp tongue and straightforwardness. In Lakeview, she was respected for her courage, but sometimes it caused discontent among those who preferred to remain in the shadows. Mary started every morning with a cup of strong coffee and a walk through the park, where majestic trees and flowers of all shades grew. She loved watching local children playing on the playground and elderly couples walking along the alleys. This park was her little refuge, where she could gather her thoughts before the start of the working day. Chapter 2. The Royal Family's Visit. One day, news came to the city that stirred up all the residents. A royal family from a faraway country was going to visit Lakeview. They planned to hold an exhibition of works of art created by local artists. Mary was delighted. She dreamed of seeing the royal family and presenting her work at the exhibition. In preparation for this event, Mary spent a lot of time in her store, creating new paintings and decorating storefronts. She worked with special inspiration because it was an opportunity not only to demonstrate her art, but also to present Lakeview on the international stage. When the day of the exhibition arrived, Mary dressed in her best dress, a blue one with white flowers that accentuated her red hair. She decided to take some photographs as a keepsake and came to the exhibition hoping to capture moments that could become important not only for her, but for the entire community. Chapter 3. Meeting Jack. There was a security guard named Jack at the entrance to the VIP area of the exhibition. He was a tall man with a stern face and stern eyes. Many locals knew him as a man who always kept order. When Mary approached him with a request to let her inside, he coldly replied, "Sorry, but the entrance is for invited only." Mary felt a surge of emotion. She couldn't believe that her dream of meeting the royal family could be ruined because of a single guard. In a fit of anger, she slapped Jack on the shoulder and shouted, "You have no right to treat me like that." This reaction shocked others. Jack was stunned and immediately called the police. Mary was confused. She did not expect that her actions would lead to such a development. A few minutes later, the police arrived at the scene of the incident. "What's going on here?" one of the officers asked. Jack told his version of events, and although Mary tried to explain her actions, she understood that the situation was out of control. Soon, she was taken to the police station to give evidence. Chapter 4. At the police station, Mary spent several hours waiting at the station. She felt humiliated and confused. It seemed to her that her whole life had been turned upside down. Thoughts of how her actions would affect her reputation in business were spinning in her head. When she was released on her own recognizance, she went outside and saw a crowd of people discussing what had happened. Some condemned her for inappropriate behavior, others admired her courage. Mary returned home that evening feeling drained. She was sitting in the kitchen with a cup of tea and thinking about how quickly things could change. She understood that she needed to pull herself together and try to fix the situation. Chapter 5. The city's reaction. The day after the incident, Mary opened her store and was amazed by what had happened. People came to express their opinion about the incident. Some supported her, while others condemned her. "You should have known better," one of her regular customers told her. "This is simply unacceptable." Mary felt isolated. She couldn't understand why a single moment could destroy everything she had been building for years. At that time, her friend named Edward, a local writer and poet, appeared in the store. He was one of the few people who stayed by her side during difficult times. "Don't mind the gossip," he said softly. "You know who you really are. The main thing is your actions after this incident." These words supported Mary in a difficult moment. She understood that she needed to focus on what was really important. A few days later, Mary decided to take a break from work and think about her actions. She went for a walk to her favorite places in Lakeview to the lake, where she always found inspiration for her paintings. Sitting on the shore and looking at the reflection of trees in the water, she realized that she needed to change her approach to life. Mary began to reflect on the importance of controlling her emotions and respecting others. She decided to use her situation as an opportunity for growth and self-reflection. The next morning, she returned to the store with renewed vigor. Mary began to actively interact with clients and offer various painting workshops. She understood that this would help her to restore her reputation and regain people's trust. Chapter 7. New Initiative. After returning to the city, Mary decided to organize an exhibition of her work in support of the local community. She wanted to show people that even difficult times can lead to something good. She started collecting paintings by local artists and planning an event. Every day, more and more people joined her. Mary felt supported and understood by her friends and acquaintances. It gave her the strength to continue. She also decided to hold a charity auction during the exhibition to raise funds to help local families in difficult situations. It was a great opportunity to bring people together for a common cause. Chapter 8. Supporting Friends. During the preparation for the exhibition, Mary met many people who inspired her with their creativity and passion for art. One of them was Tom, a young artist with great ambitions. "I heard about your incident with Jack," he said one day during a discussion of the exhibition. "But you know what? It doesn't define you as a person. You're strong and talented." These words supported Mary in a difficult moment. She realized that it is important not only how she perceives herself, but also how others see her. Tom offered his help in organizing the exhibition and creating promotional materials. He was full of ideas and enthusiasm, which inspired Mary even more. Chapter 9. The Exhibition. The day of the exhibition has finally arrived. Mary was excited and nervous at the same time. She decorated the hall with flowers and paintings, and invited local musicians to play live music for the guests. When the doors opened, people started coming. At first, they were wary due to recent events, but gradually the atmosphere became more relaxed. Mary greeted each guest with a smile on her face. During the exhibition, she noticed a familiar face Jack had come to look at the work of local artists. He looked a little confused and uncertain. Mary decided to approach him. "Hello, Jack. Glad to see you here," she said with a sincere expression. "Hi," he replied softly. "I came to see the works of local artists." "I hope you like it," she replied with a smile. Jack nodded and began to inspect the paintings. Mary felt relieved. Perhaps it was a step towards reconciliation. Chapter 10. Reconciliation. In the evening of the exhibition, the atmosphere was filled with joy and laughter. People discussed the paintings and shared their impressions with each other. At that moment, Mary noticed Jack at one of the art stands. She came up to him again. "You know, Jack, I want to apologize for what happened at the exhibition back then. I was wrong." Jack looked at her in surprise. "I understand that you were feeling emotions at that moment," he replied, "but that doesn't excuse your actions." Mary nodded. "I know. I'm working on myself and I hope I can fix my mistakes." They exchanged glances and realized that this conversation was the first step towards reconciliation. It was important for both of them. They were able to put the past behind them and move forward. Chapter 11. A New Perspective on Life. After the exhibition, Mary's life began to change for the better. She became more actively involved in the life of the city and organized events to support local artists. Her store has become a popular place for creativity and socializing again. Mary also began to conduct painting workshops for children and adults. She realized how important it is to share her experiences and inspire others to be creative. With each new lesson, she saw joy in the eyes of her students. It gave her the strength to continue her work. Each time after class, the students approached her with questions about how to develop their skills further. A few months after the incident with Jack, Mary realized an important lesson. Everyone can make mistakes, but it's important to be able to admit your mistakes and work on yourself. She has learned to value peaceful conflict resolution and respect for others. Lakeview has become a place not only for quiet living, but also for creativity thanks to the efforts of people like Mary. Every new day brought new opportunities for growth and development. She also began collaborating with other local artists to create collaborative projects, which helped strengthen the bonds between them and make their work more visible in the city. Chapter 13. A New Path. One day, during one of her exhibitions, she met a man named Alex, an art critic from a large city. He was impressed by her work and offered to collaborate to organize joint exhibitions. Mary realized that this could be a new step in her career. She agreed to Alex's suggestion and soon began working on new projects. Alex suggested that she conduct a series of workshops in other cities in the region. This could help spread the word about Lakeview as an art center. Chapter 14. New Horizons. With each new project, Mary became more confident in herself and her work. She began traveling to various cities with exhibitions of her work and masterclasses. People began to take an interest in her life in Lakeview and the events that took place there. During one of her trips, she met Catherine, a talented artist from a neighboring city. They quickly found a common language and decided to join forces to create a joint exhibition. Catherine came up with an interesting idea: to create a series of paintings on the theme Nature Around Us, reflecting the beauty of local landscapes through the prism of their unique styles. Chapter 15. Combining Talents. Working on a joint exhibition has become a real celebration of creativity for both artists. They spent their days discussing ideas and creating new works in Catherine's cozy studio. Mary felt inspired by this collaboration. Catherine brought a fresh perspective on familiar things and helped her see beauty in the simple moments of life. When the opening day of the Nature Around Us exhibition arrived, the hall was filled with people from different cities of the region. Lakeview residents were proud that their land had become an art center, thanks to the efforts of such creative personalities. Chapter 16. Successes. The exhibition was a huge success. The paintings were sold in a matter of hours. Mary felt happy. She understood that all her efforts had not been in vain. After the exhibition, Catherine suggested organizing a series of joint events to support emerging artists in their cities. This could help them find their way in the art world. Mary agreed without hesitation. She knew how important it was to support other people on their path to self-expression. Chapter 17. Homecoming. A few months after the successful exhibition with Catherine, Mary felt a surge of energy and inspiration. Her store was filled with new customers. People came not only for drawing materials but also for advice on their projects. She decided to organize an open house party in her store. It was a great opportunity to show the work of local artists and draw attention to their work. Chapter 18. Back to basics. The open house evening has become a real celebration of art. People brought their paintings for the exhibition. The atmosphere was filled with fun and laughter. Mary felt proud of her community. Everyone was united for a common cause. Among the guests were children from the local art school. They showed their work to their parents and friends. It was a touching sight. Every child proudly showed off their achievements. At the end of the evening, Mary approached a group of children. "You are all very talented. Never doubt yourself." The children smiled back at her. Their eyes shone with joy from the support of an adult. Chapter 19. A new challenge. Despite her success in business and creativity, Mary felt the need to move on. She wanted to create something more for her city. Inspired by the success of her store and the support of the community, she decided to organize the Lakeview Art Festival, an event that would bring together artists from all over the area. She started planning the festival with Tom and other local artists. Everyone was enthusiastic about the idea. They discussed the details of the event, from the choice of venue to the format of the program. The day of the art festival has arrived. Lakeview has turned into a vibrant kaleidoscope of colors and sounds. The streets were filled with people of all ages. Everyone could find something interesting for themselves, from painting workshops to performances by local musicians. Mary was happy to see so many people. It was proof that their community appreciated art. She conducted master classes for children herself. Their joyful faces filled her heart with warmth. In the evening, the festival reached its climax. The main stage was filled with local musicians. They performed their favorite songs under the starry sky of Lakeview. Chapter 21. The end of the festival. The festival ended with fireworks. It was a sight of incredible beauty. People gave a standing ovation. They felt proud of their community and for being able to create such a wonderful event together. Mary looked at the fireworks with a smile on her face. She understood that all this was made possible by the support of the people around her. It was a new stage in her life, a stage of unity through art. Chapter 22. New Horizons. After the successful festival, Mary realized the importance of community. She decided to continue developing ideas for collaboration between artists from the region. Together with Tom, they started planning new events, exhibitions, workshops, and even art conferences. Lakeview became known as a center of creativity. People from other cities came here to participate in events or just to be inspired by the beautiful scenery around the lake. Mary felt like she was part of something bigger. She knew that her work mattered not only to herself but to everyone around her. Chapter 23. Opening a new gallery. A year after the festival, Mary had the idea to open a contemporary art gallery in Lakeview. This would be another step towards the development of the city's artistic culture. She discussed this idea with her artist friends. They all supported her initiative. The gallery was supposed to be a space for experimenting with art. Exhibitions of young talents could be held here along with the works of famous masters of the region. Chapter 24. Realizing a dream. After several months of preparation, the gallery has opened its doors. It was a great event. People from all over the region came to see the new art space. The atmosphere was filled with anticipation. Everyone wanted to see the work of local artists. Mary felt proud of the place they had created together. The gallery had become a symbol of community unity through creativity. Chapter 25. Conclusion. Mary's story became an example of how to overcome difficulties and find your way in life after mistakes. She has learned to control her emotions and respect others' lessons that will stay with her forever. Lakeview has become a place not only for quiet living, but also for creativity thanks to the efforts of people like Mary. Every new day brought new opportunities for growth and development. She continued to paint, inspire others, and share her passion for art with the world around her. And although life sometimes threw up challenges for her, she knew that the main thing was the ability to learn from the past and move forward with hope for the future.